you're in a state of psychogenic shock, right? When you have all those focused things that go in there.
But it's like a focus. It's
And
bizarre.
you go to the people that mean the most, and all the things that mean the most.
And I
to you.
saw my oldest son's face, and I was like, he'll remember me. My youngest will never they'll just be memories. I'll be pictures. My wife's going to leave them all alone, but then I make my peace with the Lord, and I'm ready to go.
This is gonna hurt. It's time for the Suffering Podcast.
So my partner, after he exchanged gunfire, he gets off there's a little back privacy deck, and we sort of come together. There was another sergeant who was working a road job who came from the road job, and he's there with us. He's the only guy without a vest, and we come up with this makeshift plan. We're like, well, we're going to gain entry in here. We can't. We can see in the back sliding door. I can see the victim. She's sitting there with her knees to her chest. She's in obvious distress. But I can't see Vocatoro. I can't see him. And listen, I've been told not to say his name so many times. There's a reason I say his name, and I'll get to that at the end.
Yeah.
There's a reason I say his name. I'm not worried about a cease and desist, by the way. So the three of us, the sergeant, my partner, and myself, we decide we're going to go up on the deck. We're going to make entry through this rear sliding glass door. We're going to throw something through it, whatever's there, and we're going to go in and we're going to get this woman, right? Because we can't see this guy. The lieutenant hangs back and he's on the grass. Deck's about, I don't know, say about 9 by 9 with the slat walls. And when I go up first. And I go to the right, so the stairs are on the left. I'm looking at the sliding glass door. I go over to the right, because here's in my mind, I can see everything from the right. I can see the victim. I can't see Vocatoro. I don't know where he is. I guess I was under the assumption that he ran upstairs. It's a big open plan inside these things, but I can see everything. So the other two guys, the sergeant and my partner, they get off to the right, and they're sort of by the door jamb. So my partner takes one of the heavy metal patio chairs. And
He's still pushing on after being shot?
Yeah. He's just shot. He shot in the small of the back. He was, I'm sure it didn't feel good. What I didn't know is if he was right behind the sliding glass door off, if I'm looking at it, right off to the left, just out of sight. Like there was no way. But the funny thing was, is if I think back now and I'm looking at the victim, we're not quiet going back there.
Yeah.
She's looking off to her right. Like she's looking on diagonal. She's not looking at the sliding glass door. She's telling us where he is.
It's a perfect ambush position, right?
It was, because the minute we went through, that was it. My partner throws the chair through the door. Glass goes everywhere. And this is 11 o'clock at night. It's dead quiet around. And that's when I see this flash. And I feel that gunpowder hit my face. When you're at the range and you get the little blowback?
Yeah.
I feel the heat. I feel my ear wiggle. Now, I'm stuck behind metal patio furniture, which seemed like a good idea at the time, but it really was a bad idea. And I hit the ground. And I hit the ground. I'm like, did he just fucking shoot at me?
Yeah.
It was just such a surreal moment, but I was so focused and laser focused on. I was just lucid. Everything was quiet. There was no ringing in the ears.
I have to say, like a traumatic incident. It's funny how you're hearing out of one of your senses. Obviously, the olfactory senses, they bring back the memories, right? So you got the flash.
Oh, you could smell the gunpowder too. Yeah, you could smell it. I can still smell it.
And even the gunshots. I'd imagine. Like even hearing it, like it's a strange phenomenon how your ears just make those loud sounds quiet, almost like a ringing.
My son recently asked me something, and I was like, yeah, he shot. It was right between my eyes, but I dodged a bullet. I ducked. I was like Superman, just bobbing and weaving
in the Matrix.
But I hit the ground, and you know how you take your keys and you put them on your antenna?
Sure, old school thing.
Yeah. So he put them on my antenna. My keys fall off, and I just was like, my keys fell off. Like just like that. I was like, my keys fell off. Pick my keys up, put them back. Now I'm starting to see a lot of blood. And the other two guys, because of where they were in the proximity to the stairs, they were able to get off. Now here's the fucked up thing, and this fucking sticks at me. the lieutenant ran. He ran because he had to go because he was on the 18. He had to go call the chief.
You know, I was gonna, as you're telling a story, like my mind goes tactically, and I was gonna say something, you know, in reference to that. Did you feel confident with the people that you were with, the other police officers? You know what I mean? Like that's a big.
The other two on the deck, 100%. The boss, no.
That's a big factor.
No, not at all.
There's always room for mistakes, but I don't think there's any excuse for cowardice.
So I've heard from other guys in the department afterwards that everybody in that department knew what he did.
Yeah.
And I remember trying to call him after everything was done, like after we get off and, you know, big surprise, I wasn't shot. I tried to call him over the radio, and he wasn't picking up the radio. And I find out later the reason he wasn't picking up the radio during an active shooting is because he was on the phone with the chief, telling the chief what's going on.
Yeah.
Like what? So out of everything, I have forgiveness in my heart for a lot of things in this whole issue. That's the one thing because he left me for dead, man. Thankfully, the other two that I was 100% confident on stuck around because they kept asking. They kept asking me. I kept hearing them yell, "Are you shot? Are you shot?" And I didn't know. I really didn't know. I said, "I see a lot of blood and my shoulder hurts." That's all I knew. But I also knew I was trapped. I couldn't get out. The stairs were 6 feet away. And listen, I know I look like a swimmer, but I'm not very good at swimming on the deck. And I couldn't. I was trapped. I'm like, all right, I'm going to die. Like, this is it. I'm going to die. I get myself in a prone position. You know, I get my gun out. And
so you still didn't have eyes on him.
I still didn't have eyes on him. Oof. He was still sitting behind the thing. One of the officers, his name's Jason, grabs the back of my belt and assists me while the other guy holds cover. So if that guy poked his head out, he was dead. And they got me off the deck. But I was trapped there for I don't know, maybe a minute and a half. And during that minute and a half, I just, you know, my life flashed before my eyes. That's no joke. Like when people say that, that's the truth. You know, I had a 3-year-old at home, and I had a 7 or 8 month old at home. And you know, my wife's there to take care of him. She's, you know, her husband's a cop. He's working midnights. And all I keep thinking about is like, God, I hope she doesn't hear about this before I tell her. And that's like the thought process. So I'm under fire, but I'm still thinking so clearly.
Amazing how the brain works.
Yeah.
I mean, right from a cop's point of view, listen. I don't know if it's the right term, but you're in a state of psychogenic shock, right? When you have all those focused things that go in there.
But it's like a focus. It's
and
bizarre.
You go to the people that mean the most, and all the things that mean the most.
And I saw my oldest son's face, and I was like, you know, he'll remember me. My youngest will never they'll just be memories. I'll be pictures. My wife's going to leave them all alone, but then I make my peace with the Lord, and I'm ready to go. So I get in this prone position, and I'm ready to shoot it out, and you know, nothing ever happens, but I get picked up. The key component to any law enforcement officer being the best version of themselves is through education. Sherry Alsop is a leader in providing that education to police agencies, preparing them for the all too frequent dealings with sexual assault victims.
You've seen Sherry on episode 169 of the Suffering Podcast. She survived incest and almost daily sexual assault, so she comes from a place of experience and true understanding.
Sherry has the intelligence, commitment, and compassion to open the eyes of those on the front lines, while providing the tools to effectively deal with a difficult situation. Sherry's instruction comes from experience and multiple certifications.
Training with Sherry will offer on-site training, customized schedules, specialized instruction tailored from a victim's perspective.
You are going to hear Sherry's heart-wrenching but inspiring survivor story. Learn proprietary trauma-informed training techniques. Uncovered victim-centered interview methods while earning continuing education credits according to your state guidelines. To be the best, you must learn from the best. Let Sherry also guide you through the delicate cases of sexual assault from a victim's point of view.
Be a source of comfort to those victims affected by these traumatic experiences while producing a solid investigation and uncovering details that often go unnoticed.
To find out more or to contact Sherry Alsop, go to sherryalsop.com. That's SherrieAllsup.com. I get off the deck, and I remember falling to my knees and doing one of these, checking, am I shot in the shoulder? Am I shot in the vest? I don't feel nothing. And then I look, all the blood. There's tons of blood on my arm. So what I did was when after he shot, I hit the deck, and I fell straight on the glass, all the broken glass from the sliding glass door. And that's all it was. And all glass is embedded in my arm and stuff. It was, and it's July. It's hot. It was not comfortable after a while. But what we had to do, and now I fully expect after this guy's gonna, he shot at police twice. There's no reason why he's not gonna do it again. He's gonna commit suicide by cop.
Yeah.
All right. But here's the beauty of it. So as we get off the deck, we watch the victim just sort of slink up against the wall and walk out the garage. And we're going over the radio, whoever's out front. Victim's coming out through the garage. We didn't want her to get lit up. Once we got off the deck, what he did was he ran upstairs, and there was like a mezzanine up there, and he would just poke his head out. He's sitting in the hallway. And we held perimeter for 2 hours until the state police teams unit showed up. And I remember my partner sitting right next to me. There was a split rail fence in the back. Again, not very good cover, but we were in darkness, so he couldn't see us. And I remember talking to him. I'm like, I look at him going, holy shit.
Yeah. The moment of realization that this thing actually happened, right?
I was like, holy shit. So once the state police teams unit comes in, they relieve us. They run us. They brought their vehicle back behind everything and sort of walked us out to the side and to safety and stuff. And then I'm ordered to go to the ambulance. I'm like, I'm good. I don't want to go. I want to see this thing through. No, you have to go. And I go to the ambulance. My phone's in my running car, sitting in front in my running car, because you never turn your car off at night. I think I even pissed while I was in the back holding perimeter. Like that's how slow it was. It was just it was like matter of fact. There was no big deal.
Yeah.
You think it's this hypersensitive thing. It really was just no big deal. I get into the ambulance and I'm like, shit, I got to call my wife. Like, I have to call my wife because I was afraid of another wife saying, hey, there was a shooting. Is your husband working? And she can't get in touch with me. So I pick up this unknown, this EMT's phone. I said, I got to call my wife. You mind? He's no. Call her up. Picks up the phone. I said, Hannah was in a shooting. I'm okay. I wasn't shot. Got to go to the hospital. I got to get glass removed from my arm. Click. Done. What a big...
Was there any reaction on the other side of the phone? I don't want you to reveal too much. It's
just like what are you talking about? Okay. And I was like, I'll call you as soon as I can.
Yeah.
But think about what an asshole. I thought I was doing the right thing. I'm still not sure if I was doing the right thing by calling her.
I think it was.
It is, but they don't understand. You call someone like me. All right, but
go to the hospital.
That's one of the things that a lot of people like. When you're married or you have a significant other, that's something difficult. I mean, that's our life. We're used to it. But you tell somebody that, like, whoa.
I know she can't leave. Like, I'm fully aware that she can't go to the hospital to meet me because there's 2 small children at home. I'm fully aware. I don't know what I was thinking. Like, hey, just go back to sleep. We'll be all right.
Well, I'm thinking you didn't want her to think the worst, right? Because if they heard shooting or something, the news media gets on it, and they get a barricaded suspect.
Right. You want somebody special in your life, like, hey,
I'm good.
You know what I mean?
I'm alive.
Yeah.
Right.
And my department didn't do such a good job post shooting. Like, they did a really shitty job. And the sad part is the last officer involved shooting in Roseland was, I think, 2000 when an officer shot a car thief named Speedy. And it was he tried to run him over on Choctaw Way. And
that's pretty ironic, Speedy.
Yeah, his name is Speedy. He was a great car thief. I'm telling you what, this guy could steal a car. And I saw the case file.
Was he ever in Hoboken?
I'm sure. So he was a blood. He was a blood, and I gotta be honest with it. Speedy would have been successful probably no matter what he did, because he was like an engineer. He had a cordless sawzall with a nail, and he would just go pop, and in the car he would go, and then he'd go pop and turn the car on. It was pretty cool. But his girlfriend also worked security at ADP, so she would
inside track.
She would fill him in.
Yeah.
She would fill him in. But it was a lucky shot. The officer who shot him, as the car's coming at him, I think today it probably would have been a bad shoot. But as the car's coming at him, he shot and it went through the A-pillar, where the door. So people don't know what an A-pillar is. It's where the door meets, like where the windshield frame is, and it went through there and it hit him here, and the bullet actually you could see it sticking out of the other side of his head. So that's
road around the front, I guess.
Yeah, that's all they knew about shootings, and the prosecutor's office took care of all that stuff.
Yeah,
because Speedy had died, obviously. So they didn't know what to do. But you know, when one of your guys is in a shooting, you would think they would send one of your own with them.
Yeah,
a Fairfield officer accompanying, and I happen to know the Fairfield officer from the gym.
So that was a question I had, because that actually overlaps the time. We didn't work that far from each other. We're in the same county.
Yeah.
I mean, pretty close. Was there any other agencies involved besides the state police in Fairfield, like mutual aid?
I know there was some West Caldwell guys there. I know there was some Essex. You know, it's a shooting on a midnight on a Wednesday.
Yeah,
There ain't a whole lot going on in West Essex.
for sure.
So everybody was there. The one person that I did see, after I got off the deck, I saw, do you know who Gerard Veneziano is?
Yes.
So Gerard Veneziano was the Fairfield officer, got shot 9 times, probably 2 or 3 years prior. And he got fucked up real bad.
Yeah.
Oh, I think I might have.
Yeah, it happened right on...
46, wasn't it?
No,
Near
no,
46?
right. It was like right next to their headquarters. The guy had followed him. It was some sort of...
There was a backstory. That's what I remember.
Yeah,
There's
yeah,
like
yeah.
and
Now-
we had a
now I
Bol-
know who you're talking about.
We had a
Okay.
Bolo. It was a Dodge, maybe Durango or something. I remember the suspect vehicle.
And they caught him in Union, and the way they caught him is they shot his gun into the air, and one of the shot bangs got him, one of the ears. So the shot bangs, some agencies, some towns will have them to identify where guns are going off, and they can tell you the caliber, and they can tell you everything.
Yeah.
And they shot it, and they caught him, and then they did ballistics on the gun, and that was the guy. That was the guy who did it, and he identified him. So as I'm coming off the deck, I see Gerard coming forward. I'm like, oh. Because he had been, as soon as he got back, he was in a car chase, and he got fucked up from the car chase. He got rammed or something. They were stealing vehicles out of Skyline Auto Auction, and he got rammed. But I see him coming around. I go, oh fuck, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was like you're the Black Cloud.
Yeah.
So anyway, I go to the Fairfield officer accompanies me to the hospital, and they take out what glass they can. There was still a lot of glass in my arm, and now I got to go back to the scene. And as I was showing up at the scene, I go back to the scene. He's still barricaded. They can't get him out. They got the negotiator in there. They're trying to get him out, and he won't come out. But he keeps calling 911. But
No lucid communication.
there was nothing. There was really nothing. I get back to the scene, and all I want to do is go home. That's like I just want to go home.
Yeah.
But I can't get to my keys. My car keys are in my police vehicle. My phone's in my police vehicle. So I go back and I write. They asked me to write reports. So I go back and I write reports.
I was just about to say that.
That's kind of foul right there.
That's
That's a foul ball, I say.
Yep. And
I was just thinking that before it came out of your mouth.
yeah, they made me go back and write reports, and I wrote all I can remember. But I also put in that report that they gave me painkillers at the hospital.
Yeah.
So all the reports are moot anyway.
Right.
Just in case. Listen, I had played that game long enough to know where they were going with that. So finally they talk the guy out, they arrest him, and I go back, and the detectives want to talk to me for a couple minutes to find out where I was and stuff. And the news media is everywhere. I don't have my police shirt on anymore. I have but I know the news media's there. I just put like my raincoat on just to
Identify yourself.
identify myself. And there's a couple news clips of me at the scene afterwards. That was when I had already gotten back from the hospital. Both my arms are bandaged up. You don't see it because I got the long raincoat on. And then I get my stuff and I go home. And when I get home, I'm driving home just sort of like in silence. Like I didn't talk. I didn't say nothing. I didn't talk to myself. I just got all these thoughts coming through my head. I'm like, what the fuck? But I was happy. Like I was really happy about the job that was done. Like, you ever have one of those jobs where you're like, yeah, we did good. We did
Yeah.
good.
Yeah, no loss of life, you know, with the exception of the leadership there. I mean, you know, Mike, you were a leader yourself. I have my own opinions being just a police boss, but I bet Mike.
I mean, I was on a different level, and you know, honestly, I wanted to get back because I was just trying to. I'm listening and tracking. I think even in like situations like that, or any, you know, situation with weapons, so forth and so, you know, I think all those SOPs and what we're taught, it's a totally different situation. You can't, you know what I mean? I think a lot of that goes out the door.
So
You're talking about adrenaline. You're talking about, you know, what.
So the military, you'll hear a lot of military guys say this. You know, they're great wartime soldiers. They're shitty peacetime soldiers.
Right.
So there's your difference. And administrations, they don't understand the difference. When you're in an active battle, like a shooting, it's an active battle. SOPs and all that stuff. I know you still have to follow AG guidelines. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about, am I wearing my hat? Or
Right.
stupid shit like that.
Right. But I'm talking about tactics. You know what I mean? You can be taught so much, but in a situation like that, it's very difficult to concentrate on because you're basically, hey, you're worried about your life, and I'm sure you were worried about your partner's life.
Mm-hmm.
That, you know, I probably knowing you were probably worried more about him.
I remember,
you know what I mean?
He was sitting in the desk before I left, and I remember going up to him and I'm like, hey, Jay, you okay? You all right? Listen. He goes, yeah, they want me to write reports. And I was the department rep for my union, so I said, don't write any reports. Like, I didn't follow my own advice. I said, don't write any reports. You need to go to the hospital. Go to the hospital now. You're not looking good. And he didn't want to, but eventually you really don't look good.
Yeah.
Because I didn't want him to write the reports. I said, write the reports after you talk to an attorney, because they could hang you out to dry if they wanted to.
Right.
Likelihood they wouldn't. I mean, it was pretty cut and dry stuff.
You're an informal leader. You're a leader there probably more than any rank or insignia.
No, all the rank really wanted him to write the report. I'm like, what, you guys out of your fucking mind?
I think the leadership there, I don't mean to harp on this one point.
Oh, I'll tell you for certain.